This is Jeffrey Epstein's horrifying New York City mansion. It's believed to be the largest private residence in all of Manhattan, a 7-story, 50,000 square foot townhome with over 40 rooms. Inside, Epstein's victims say they were brutally abused, used as pawns in a power game involving the world's richest people. But until now, the layout and interior of this building have remained difficult to parse. Using photos and diagrams taken by the FBI and released this year as part of the Epstein files, we'll go floor by floor to show you exactly what it was like in one of New York City's most infamous properties. On the first floor, immediately after passing through a stone entrance room, you're met with a strange sight. The famous painting of Bill Clinton in a blue dress is on the wall, as alluded to by Jeffrey Epstein in this email, which instructs an assistant to place the painting near the entrance so people will see it when they enter. There's also a letter to the side of the painting, but it can't be read due to the low resolution of this photo. Inside the room is a gigantic security camera viewing station with 7 monitors. On the wall in an attached storage room are folders with the names of Epstein's properties. There's an interesting letter on the desk from Progressive Insurance for someone named Renata. This could be a woman named Renata Bolatova, who was a close associate of Jeffrey Epstein, an immigrant woman about whom very little is known. Some sources allege that she is known pseudonymously throughout the files as Bella Klein, a person who received $3 million from Epstein's estate after he died. But although she's an interesting piece of the puzzle, there's not much information that's known at this time. Room B is an oval-shaped office containing several bookshelves and a desk. There's photos of Robert Redford, Marilyn Monroe, and other notable people on the wall. Epstein's home was highly organized, as evidenced by these shelves in the attached closet area, which have labeled stationery in them. We can see several copies of the famous anti-Trump book Fire and Fury, written by Michael Wolff, a controversial journalist that was close friends with Epstein and advised him on how to interact with Trump on several occasions. Room C is a hallway with framed designs by Alberto Pinto, who designed Epstein's New Mexico ranch and French estate. That hallway leads to Room D, which is the main entry room, which has this eerie painting and creepy sculpture of a bride hanging from a rope above the stairwell. In an adjacent hallway, we see this creepy jockey statue, and beyond that is a dining room that some of the most famous photos of Jeffrey Epstein were taken in. It was this room that saw some of Epstein's most notable acquaintances gather for meals, including Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, Woody Allen, magician David Blaine, and others. On one side of the room, we can see this painting of an old photo of Jeffrey Epstein as a child. There are also photos with famous people on the credenza, something that Epstein did with nearly every home he owned. Attached to this room is the first floor kitchen. We can see a photo of Jeffrey Epstein with Steve Bannon on the table. Room H is the pantry area, and beyond that is a closet containing jackets from this winter photo with Ghislaine Maxwell still inside. Up the first flight of stairs lies the second floor, and the first room agents photographed in this second floor is a plain galley-style kitchen. There isn't too much here that's of note other than this ornate bronze-colored crucifix on the countertop. It calls to mind this large cross in one of Epstein's bedrooms in New Mexico, which seems like an object of mockery in this context. Next door is this extremely weird room with patio furniture and an umbrella. I have no idea why the room would be decorated in this way. It's another bizarre design feature like so many rooms in Epstein's many homes. Room L is a travel-themed lounge room with books and chairs. There are tribal masks on the wall and a large Steinway piano. Epstein is well known to have played piano, attending a prestigious Michigan art school briefly in his youth. Beside this room is a small powder room with large framed photos of the island. There's another bathroom next door with a photo of Albert Einstein and another of 2 little boys looking down their pants. Also on this floor is an extremely ornate office, which is well known to be Epstein's preferred office. There are numerous photos of him meeting with notable people in this office, and it's uniquely decorated, if you can call it that. There's a stuffed tiger and a stuffed dog on the ground. Epstein once said that he, quote, wanted people to think about what it means to stuff a dog. The first room of the third floor is the massage room, an unnervingly dark and foreboding part of the Epstein estate. It goes without saying that this is likely one of the most important rooms when it comes to understanding the kinds of evil acts that happened at the New York mansion. Countless women have talked about being lured into performing massages in New York, Palm Beach, and other properties of Epstein's, and I have to say that Epstein certainly didn't make any attempt to make this room seem less creepy. There are oversized paintings and photos of women on the wall, massage oils on the shelf, and a marble shower in an adjacent bathroom. On the ceiling is a detailed painting of the sky similar to the one in the foyer. Of all the rooms in this mansion, there's an especially dark, menacing aura about this one. Room Q is a kind of powder room with a large safe that has been busted open. At Ghislaine Maxwell's trial in 2021, an FBI special agent said agents had sawed it open and found hard drives, quote, $70,000 in cash, 48 loose diamonds, and other jewelry, and a passport from a foreign country with a picture of Epstein under another name in the safe. On the same floor is Room R, which is a side room that was under construction at the time of the raid. It's filled with a variety of different things: a statue that looks like a praying Jesus, plastic sheets all over the floor and scaffolding, and a stretched canvas print of Epstein with a woman whose face is redacted on the wall. There's another heavily redacted photo of several individuals on the bathroom wall, but it's difficult to make out exactly what the picture depicts. The next room is a closet of sorts with multiple doors on each side, almost a room of just doors. There's a photo of what almost looks like a naked infant on the wall. Room T is a connected room that is also under construction. Room U is painted blue and white and has an almost hidden camera in the corner. This room, as well as Room V, were featured in an absolutely fascinating New York Times article that I explained at length in this video. Room U's closet contains multiple costume pieces, including a captain's hat and a crown. On the floor is an interesting photo of Jeffrey Epstein and possibly Woody Allen, although something seems off about this photo, as though Jeffrey Epstein's face has been edited into it or something like that. Room V is an adjoining room, also white and blue, with another camera pointed directly at the bed. These two rooms are bizarre and the first piece of concrete proof that Epstein had video cameras in his bedrooms, something that had been discussed for years but never actually substantiated in a photograph. Adding to the strange decor of this mansion is Room W, the first room that was photographed on the 4th floor. This room is painted bright pink and adorned with an oversized painting of what looks to be naked children. Also on the 4th floor is a blue bedroom with an attached marble bathroom, a kind of brother room to Room W. Room Y is a large home gym next to Room Z, an attached yoga and calisthenics studio with an Eastern-style statue. There's a ballet bar on the side of the room, an interesting addition to this room that suggests Epstein had some kind of long-term relationship with someone in that world. Interestingly, in 2019, the New York Times chronicled the numerous ways Jeffrey Epstein targeted dancers, including ballerinas, for massages. Quote, "When Mr. Epstein was luring teenagers into in Florida, he was using a network of recruiters within New York City's dance studios to procure aspiring performers into a similar scheme," unquote. Along this same line, the attached bathroom has a photo of a bikini-clad woman and a bizarre ballerina's leg statue that sticks out of the wall. There are also two statue busts of women in the closet. On the 5th floor, Room AA is a rather bland-looking room outside of the rooftop terrace area Epstein had. There's also Room BB, which is a bedroom, CC, a small plain white kitchenette, and DD, a similarly bland bedroom. There's some kind of mechanical access room in this room. The next room, EE, is primarily for storage. It contains bedding, shoes, and other items. Next to EE is FF, a large office space with a desk and a poster-sized printer. The final room on the 5th floor is Room GG, an attached room with a separate bathroom and closet area. This room stores a shelf of Epstein's things, boxes labeled JE magazines, and the names of his various properties. Many of these labels are possibly very interesting, including the ones that are redacted, but unfortunately are too low resolution to be read. Room HH on the 6th floor is a large mechanical room partially used as storage for various household items. There are blueprints and other construction plans laid out around the room. This room leads to Room II, a large office on the top floor of the building. This room is a strange one. There's a photo of a female child on the wall and an attached balcony with a painting of Little St. James, Jeffrey Epstein's personal island, on the inner edge of the barrier. On the desk, as in the office on the lower floors, there's a photo of Epstein and Steve Bannon. There's also a bizarre photo of a man, likely Epstein, with a girl, although Epstein is colored in green. Finally, a basement beneath the building contains a labyrinthine series of halls and rooms with checkered floors. There's JJ, an industrial-style kitchen with several large pictures on the wall that have been redacted, and KK, a completely gutted room with various electrical plugs hanging off the wall. There's a storage room, LL, with lockers, perhaps for housekeeping staff. There's also MM, a large laundry room with industrial-strength machines. Next to MM is NN, another storage room filled with computers, power tools, and more. And OO, Epstein's internet setup. This room contains old computers, a computer terminal, and other technology. It's hard to even think about what kind of material could be on those computers, and it's likely that the FBI, immediately after taking these photos, packaged them up for forensic analysis. Because of the private nature of Epstein's life, many details about his life are still coming out. This is the most comprehensive look at the layout of Jeffrey Epstein's house in New York City so far. Hopefully, though, more information about this property will come out in the future, and if so, I'll be sure to update.